All right, we're back again. So now what we want to do is change our procedure so that we can actually add in some variables that we can use. Now, once again, Visual Studio has a couple of little tricks. So just like this variable here has been created, we want to create a variable for the value 13, which can be used throughout the program. So we can just change it once or enter it once, and then it will be replaced throughout the procedure. So what we're going to do is actually double click on the 13, and then if you right click, you'll see there's an option to refactor. And what refactoring does is say that you can introduce, you'll see it's actually giving us some suggestions for some code that it can use. And so what we actually want to do is introduce a constant or a variable that will represent 13. Okay, so we're going to say here that we want to introduce, you can see the choices here, introduce a local constant for 13 or for all occurrences of 13. And so it's suggesting that it's going to change the turtle.turn right here, as well as the looping variable here if we do that. So we're going to choose to introduce a local constant for all occurrences of 13. And that's then going to create for us an extra line here which says the constant integer v is equal to 13, and you'll see it's replaced the value 13 throughout our procedure with this v. Now we want to rename v because v isn't a very good name for our variable. This is actually the number of sides that our procedure has, so we're going to rename v sides, and you'll see that as I rename, that variable is renamed throughout my entire procedure. Okay, and we can apply that, and now we've got a variable here that is being used. Now let's test our program first of all and check that this constant, this integer that's storing 13, is going to work. So we play, it should compile, check all for errors, and now we should get a 13-sided shape. It's looking good. There we go. Okay, so our variable has, or our constant has worked for us. Now you can test that a couple of times. So if you want to go with something simple again, let's change that back to 4 and test that. It should compile, and this time we should get ourselves a square. Beautiful. And so now that's going to make our n-sided shape, which is our polygon, our number-sided shape, very easy to create. Now we want to prompt the user to actually get that value.